Take any hits here. Getting on top of the damage with the Colorado as well. Just hold out. Tonne suffers magazine explosion. Hello everyone. Welcome back to War on the Sea as the USN forces. We are playing the expanded Arsenal model, carrying straight on from where we left off previously after defeating an Issei-led task force where the enemy losses were rather large here. We destroyed a Kizikami, an Issei, a Sendai, a Yugamo and a Kagero. We didn't lose anything in return in that particular battle, but we are somewhat battered. Our South Dakota is looking a bit peppered. Northampton's got a little bit of damage on. So does our Portland, but the Atlanta's the one that took the most damage in that particular battle. Was covered in fires on its bow area, and it has lost one general compartment there. But I think we're still rather serviceable. We can certainly live with that. We are going to carry on with our plan to move forwards and try and bombard Rennell Island, Shortland Islands over here. I've got the invasion of Rennell Island on my mind, which is going rather smoothly there. However, with that going smoothly, not everything is going smoothly in the grand scheme of things. We do have an Unryu and Shokaku task force over here, protected by another Issei and a Kongo. So we're going to try and stray away from that if possible, of course. If it were just the one battleship in there, I'd be very, very tempted to go in. But after damages and loss of ammunition over the previous battle, we're trying to err on the side of caution over here. And of course, we have lost a handful of destroyers as well. A couple of Bensons, and a Sims and a Benham. And that is because we were intercepted by the enemy Hizen task force, weren't we? Looking at our dockyard, we also have our new type gunboats, our Buckley destroyer escorts in the dockyard. One of them really is actually horribly damaged, and that's going to take 22 days to come back out. So we're sending all of these back though to try and get a little bit of reimbursement in the command points area, so that we can field some better destroyers, and we can put that maybe towards a second battle fleet. We'll see how that turns out when we get our points back. So, without further ado, let's keep going, see if we can move into the Shortland Islands and see what today brings for us. Well, we're on the approach to the Shortland Islands now to bombard it. It appears to be plain sailing, and that is absolutely brilliant. Look at that, disgusting. We should not be able to get in that easily. But we're going to try and bombard now. Should be in range. We certainly are. Going to go for a couple bombards there to bring that down a couple levels. Exactly what have we done there? Down to a level 2 airfield. That's amazing. Very, very tempted to go for one more if possible and just beeline back home so that we can rearm and be ready for another day. Looks like we do have the ammunition for that. So let's get on with it, I think. Let's bombard that once more. There we go, lovely stuff. We are completely out of ammunition on our larger ships now, so we'll have to just beeline at home. We are under cover of night though at the moment, so we should be able to get back fairly safely. We're going to take a very wide approach though, away from enemy airfields and such. It's going to take a long old time, nearly 2 whole days. But that's absolutely fine. We can certainly work with that. This is something, a massive, massive boon for us in the future. It's a lot less radar coverage and a lot less planes coming off of the Shortland Islands if we do decide to approach up here. And in fact, that opens the way a little bit for our Clemson task force over here to go for these 3 islands. The next bombard target will of course be Santa Isabel. That's another level 3 airfield there, and holds a lot of float planes and such over there to bomb us and such in the future. And of course the horrible radar position there will hurt us in the future. And of course, many hours later, we are finally approaching New Georgia. I do actually have a minor amount of supplies to support these troops on New Georgia, and that's going to cause a small foundation for us to work from to upgrade and defend that. So we're going to drop 200 troops, 150 supplies on that, and then we're just going to dart to Columbagara and Vela Lavella over here. Let's go over. Looks like we're going to get intercepted, so we're going to have to watch out for that. Oh, no. What are they? Oh, that's a lot more. Looks like they're going to send in everything they have from Santa Isabel over here, or even a carrier if possible. Let's go a bit more. I'm not going to initiate it if they don't want to initiate the fight. No need to ask for the fight there that we don't want. Yeah, okay, so they're actually going northwards over here, away from the island of a base. So it looks like that was from a carrier. Getting very, very lucky actually here, I think. That's all it's coming down to. It's interesting how the icons don't change, but that's interesting. Well, that's okay, we'll take that. Where are we over here? Just coming down to the south of Renault Island. Of course, undersupplied, but we'll still be able to take that. Oh, there we go, that's where... Okay, so they're scouting out so that they can try and intercept us with a possible battleship task force. Not liking that at all there. Certainly not liking that. Because, of course, we cannot launch aircraft until we've upgraded that. And that's going to take a fair amount of supplies there. We're going to have to really consider getting a merchant navy out so that we can upgrade that as quickly as possible. So we're going to take another wide berth over here and hope that we can run away from this possible task force here. But you didn't think I would be just so complacent, would you? No, of course not. We're going to try and hit this battleship task force outside of New Georgia. This is very lucky, actually. We did lose sight of the enemy. Just going off of a random tactical encounter, we have been lucky enough to find them. So we have launched 12 B-17s off of the New Hebrides, armed with two 2,000-pound bombs each. Let's just carry on and identify and get a contact over here. Exactly what do we have? We have a Fuso. Do we have any larger ships over here? No, we don't. So, is it worth just aiming for the Fuso? I don't think so. We'll go for one group for the Fuso, one group for this Mirka over here, I think. That is... I think we can risk being very, very naughty. Very, very naughty indeed. And actually going down to a fairly low altitude here. And actually hitting that Fuso from the flank. What position was that? That was number 1. So go over here. And this group can go for the number 7 Mirko here. And go all the way down. Again, we'll increase their speed there. Like so. In fact, we'll increase their speed to max over here so we do get that off a bit easier. Excellent flight to the B-17s here, but of course, once again, a lot of flak and small arms to deal with. On the rear of the ships, and of course the battleships and heavy cruisers don't have a lot of flak themselves. This is their destroyers to watch out for. But as we get closer, it's going to be very, very nasty indeed. What we need to do then is actually do this a little better. We are going to line ahead very quickly over here. And we're going to give some slightly more concise orders. Slow down our speed a tad so that we can turn a little easier. Come around the flank there. And I think we will stay in this particular formation over here. Just go straight at the Myoko with the rear. But we're not going to necessarily stay in this formation. We're going to speed up and then we're going to break and attack. Very tedious, but certainly more efficient if you have the patience to pull this off. Like so. Then everyone can do their own specific maneuvers, and if we lose the lead plane, which is very likely to do so, they can carry on without having to rely on that. And I think we're going to do roughly the same over here. Just tell everyone to attack as we are, and this should be beautiful, absolutely beautiful if we do get this off okay. With the massive weight of our bombs, whether we do stand actually a good chance of sinking this food, so if we do get a few decent hits. The Myoko, of course, a lot more likely. There we go. Don't want to get our hopes up too much, but oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. Don't you dare tell me otherwise. Taking a good few hits on this formation over here, which means this particular formation should get a few decent hits off. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, and on the Fuso as well. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. So, let's try and get out, shall we? Down to the number 6. We'll go box and increase our altitude just to get out there. Just go over the mountain islands there. Form up over here. Increase altitude is all good, and just go a separate direction there. Excellent stuff. So, let's have a look at the list of hits. Should be loads and loads. So, Let's see, the Fuso is number 1. 1, 2, 3 bombs on that, and 1, 2, 3, 4 or so bombs onto the Miyoko. Not so bad at all. We are losing B-17s, of course, but they'll replenish for free, which is excellent. To get some lovely fires on that Fuso. I'm loving that. Loving that. So it should at least encourage them to retreat, and that's all we really want. Soften them up a tad. Let's take a quick report, see how they're looking. Heavy to moderate on the Fuso and heavy to heavy on the Miyoko there, which is excellent. Well, rather unluckily, to be honest, we did not manage to at least sink the Miyoko there, but very, very heavy damage on both ships. We are certainly pleased with that result. So we can go away and bring back any remaining B-17s. That's 4 remaining B-17s out of 12 there. But not to worry, we can certainly launch those again. We can probably give it a... it's night time now, so we can't launch anything else today. But that's not to worry at all. I think we're going to carry on. Perhaps send out some more B-17s or even Havocs if they have the range. We can launch things out from Milne Bay as well if need be. Just so that it's still active while our ships are rearming to the south. Furthermore, because we have taken the string of neutral islands, and we're probably close to taking Renault Island over the next day. That I have to go over very quickly though to us. Tomorrow we should be getting resupplied and reinforced with some command points, and we'll get a total of 94, which is excellent stuff, especially since we're sitting on 27 there. And that's because we've got some points back from the Buckleys there. So we should be able to get something a little meaty out. It's going to be a very tough decision on what we want. I'm thinking maybe sacrifice a destroyer for a second cheap battleship over here, so that we can take some harder fights to the enemy, but we'll see about that. And on day 7 we have just about made it over here to the New Hebrides. We'll go to first, of course, rearm our ships over here. Excellent stuff. And we are going to decide what to do then about increasing our firepower. It makes a little more sense really to send the Atlanta home to rest and repair, so that we do save up on those. But we'd be losing a lot of AA power. I really want to send perhaps home a destroyer. I think we're going to send home this damaged Benson over here. So we'll release and repair that. Like so, and that does of course free up a space for us. Holding the Atlanta does still give us some anti-submarine warfare capabilities because it does have sonar and depth charges, so I'm not so worried about that. And I think we're going to go for a cheap and not quite so battle efficient option, but certainly cost-effective Colorado over here. Because it's only 75 command points, it's very tempting to go for something like an Iowa, but that costs 100 command points, and I want to get up as many ships as possible in the early stages of this campaign. So we're going to go for a Colorado, and we're going to, of course, merge groups over here. And what we're going to do after that with our remaining points is we're going to get a merchant shipping convoy out. So we're going to go to New Sea, and we're going to go, of course, to MS. And the most cost-effective, to my knowledge, is either the Arcturus or the... where are we? Is it this one? No, it'd be this at the bottom there. That's 8 command points there. 18.4 knots. Carries a good amount of troops, supplies, and engineering. Compare that to the Arcturus. The speed is actually slower on the Arcturus and carries a little less. I think we're going to go for this one then. Go for... ideally I'd want 4 so we can do this in one run. We'll go for 2 for the minute though, because we will need at least 1 oiler. And we will go for a Cimarron, because that is providing some AA support over there. Rather expensive though. That's the problem. That is the problem. And of course, we're going to need some destroyers to escort that. It's really limiting us, actually. Really, really limiting us. We're going to have to go for destroyer escorts there. And I think it's going to have to be some new types once again, because they are very cheap. Very, very cheap. So we do have, of course, depth charges, a few torpedoes if need be, but that's not really the main point here. Yeah, that's just going to have to, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3. That'll do. That's using up pretty much all of our command points. And we will just change that to line ahead and swap this over very quickly, like so. And we're going to, once again, take a wide berth and go for New Georgia. I really want to build that up as quickly as possible. So manage cargo, get some supplies on here, but of course we want supplies here. I want fuel on this one, and some engineering over here is the more pressing matter. That is going to take more than one trip to get over that, though. That's not ideal, of course. Yeah, what can we do actually to help us out? Not a lot really at the moment. That's okay. So we'll just get some more supplies and troops, I think, on our destroyer escorts here. Like so, just to bolster that up in case we do get invaded. But at this point, can't really defend against much, can we? So try and get in one more engagement. We're scouting out some bow fighters armed with some minor bombs over here. And we're of course scouting out again, but we'll try and get one more engagement in for today. If not, we will just see, try and get on top of New Georgia and leave it there. Well, early the next day it looks like the enemy is concentrating a lot of forces outside Guadalcanal, so I think we're going to be doing the flight of B-17s once again if possible. Let's go and see exactly what we spotted over here, because there are two task forces to choose from here. What exactly have we come across? We can just about see some ships over here. So looks like a somewhat minor task force, perhaps the cruiser task force we have previously sighted. So we've got a Tenryu, a couple of destroyers at the front. We have an Alba in the middle, along with a Tonne and another. This looks like a Fubuki over here. So we don't need to mark that one up. We know it's outside of Guadalcanal. What we will do though is take this Kingfisher, and maybe we can go in once again. Actually, we'll just go a little closer over here and try and scout out. I really want to make sure this is or isn't a carrier over here. It looks like it might be. Yeah, okay, so we have another Unryu out, so it's not the same task force as before because it doesn't have any battleships. In fact, it has, is that 1, 2 Oiros and a Takao to support it there. Fly to the B-17s, not really going to do much against that, I don't think. We can give it a go. Let's see how many we have remaining, because it doesn't, of course, replenish all of them at once. Go to new air. We have 6. That's not necessarily bad. What about Havocs, though? Because they can be just as effective with 2 1.6 thousand pound bombs, but the range is what's going to hinder us there. We need at least 1,089 kilometers there. What about some, yeah, just not going to make it, are we? Just not quite going to make it. 6 B-17s just won't quite be enough to make a dent, unfortunately, with all the aircraft about. Can't quite make it, that's the thing. But it might be a nice idea to go over and assume they're going to push down with one task force. I think we'll launch these out of caution, go towards this sort of area, and we can move across as we scout out further. There we go, that's what we're looking for. We're trying to push into Guadalcanal to actually catch the enemy cruiser task force we sighted, and the cruiser task force we have indeed sighted. The range towards the middle ship of the Alba is 9.7 kilometers, so it's very close range, nice engagement. We have given firing orders already. It's going to increase our speed, turn out, cross their T, and wait out to actually fire out some star shells, get some large battleship caliber shells into the heavy cruise and try and destroy those as quickly as possible. Have our Northampton and South Dakota firing out onto the Alba, with our Portland and Colorado firing onto the Tonne over here. So we'll see how it's going. We just need to, we do have our battleships on hold at the moment, waiting for the solution to increase. And I think really we're actually going to try and get a very quick mangle shot out here because we have got ourselves into position. Going 31 knots over here. Let's fire out like so. And we can keep firing auto fire there. Gets the Colorado out to fire onto the Tonne as well. Hopefully they want to focus our battleships really so that they're the ones that can take the hits, of course. Getting some star shells out very mildly. Have already scored a mild hit onto the Alba over here. Very nice indeed. But it is turning out now, so we do need to watch out for Japanese torpedoes, of course. It's a large formation we do have. Is really going to send ourselves open for them. In fact, having said that, might be a decent idea to get some manoeuvres out as quickly as possible, really. Have both of our light cruisers firing onto the Tenryus. That should go down fairly easily, so long as we do keep a decent contact on that. Just hoping the star shells linger over the enemy quite nicely there. Looks like this Tonne is slowing down, so we're just going to get to the Colorado once again and hold and watch the reload there. Ooh, took a nasty hit with that on the Colorado. Right in the centre on the funnel there. That's not good. Not good at all already. But it looks like, yeah, we are very nicely in position to hit this. As we are there, full broadside onto that there would be excellent. Getting a bit caught up with this, aren't we? Did want to get some sort of manoeuvres off. We'll just see how this goes. Would love a very nice hit on here. Come on, there we go. That was likely it. This is gaining some speed now, though. So we'll bring out another mangle fire about here. Look at the fires coming out on that bow now. Excellent stuff for us. We'll just fire just in front of its nose and keep firing out there and watch ourselves for manoeuvres then. Let's get the Gleaves turning out over here. Get the Atlanta, where are we? If you can just move out a little closer, go full speed if possible. Colorado, I need you to get a decent broadside. You can follow out the Atlanta, get a bit closer. South Dakota can move out over here as well. Portland, I think, should turn behind the Gleaves. And the Mayo can follow out as well. Get a nice broadside off. What do we find? Firing HE, excellent stuff. Who was it that was firing star shells? It was this Gleaves, actually. I'm going to get you to retreat off because you are taking some hits. Like so, if you can go, you are going full speed. Excellent. Porter can turn out over here to get a decent broadside. Northampton then can follow up over here to keep your broadside on. I think the Porter actually will just pause. Porter, Muster, where are we? And Brooklyn can form a line ahead. Just move that down like so. And they can move out with each other like so. That should be all good. How are we doing for damage then? Moderates to the South Dakota, that should be pre-existing. Minus to the Colorado, but heavy to these heavy cruisers over here. We're doing okay. Just need to keep it up. South Dakota does have a very decent solution actually onto the Alba there. How are we doing with the Colorado though? Just making sure, okay, we haven't taken any hits here. Getting on top of the damage with the Colorado as well. Just hold out. Tonne suffers magazine explosion. Excellent. That's all of the front guns out there. Look at that. That is a screenshot and a half. Oh, you love to see it. So, with that being said, we're actually going to stop firing onto the Tonne and actually get on top of, I think, we'll help out with the Alba here. So we hold out over there, fire it with some, we have lost a secondary gun there unfortunately. Who else was firing on that? I believe it was Portland. So they can stop firing and actually get on top of, I think we can start firing on a Fubuki over here. Just double check our position with the Portland, yeah, that can fire us onto this Fubuki I think. Get some HE out to fire over there, like so. Because these will be targeting our destroyers. I really don't want to lose them because we are quite limited in this particular task force. South Dakota can hold here. Yeah, Tonne is instantly sinking there. Okay, so just heard 2 enemy sinkages there. That's the Tenryu and the Shiratsu. The Alba has, of course, gone down as well. So what we're going to do is try and get on top of this number 6 ship over here. Try and chase that down. That is another Fubuki. So it should be very, very nice to get rid of that. Get some star shells out over here and identify that, of course, like so. And we'll try and fire on that with the Gleaves as well. It's no longer taking damage by the looks of things. So let's go out over there. Let's have a look. Yeah, just getting on top of stuff. Nothing too bad there. Get on top of this Fubuki over here. Thank you very much. Do some spotting fire. Colorado can fire everything on this Fubuki as well. And just go balls to the walls with that. The secondary is not going to fire over here, unfortunately, because it is deactivated. Completely lost that, actually. That is completely destroyed. Rather unlucky, if you ask me. And we're going to start firing out onto the Fubuki over here as well. And that would be very nice indeed. Quite a sound victory, as it should have been, with 2 battleships, these heavy cruisers in this group. These close-range nighttime engagements certainly favouring us like this. I wonder how it would have gone, though, with an enemy battleship in tow here. Seeming to be having trouble hitting this Fubuki, though. It doesn't look like it's taken a lot of damage. Is there anything coming in there? The Northampton, no, going for the Shiratsu. Let's get you onto the Fubuki because it is really fairly close. South Coast is not firing anything either. I think we'll get that on this Fubuki once again. Got enough over here, we should do. Porter's not firing on us either, actually. And I think we'll get up some more star shells over here, actually, because it's quite lacking at the moment. But we are being fired upon, of course. Not entirely sure what's taking those hits, but the Fubuki, yeah, absolutely taking some nasty hits now. Love to see another magazine explosion. Let's see that go down quicker. I've had 4 enemy magazine explosions in this battle. Colorado struck by torpedo. No, we've only just got this bloody ship out. That's going to be... Oh, even said we need to watch out for these things. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, evasive manoeuvres then. It's far too late for that though. Oh, look at that horrible, horrible damage. Go to a crawl, please, and try and get on top of that. Going to be very lucky to keep this ship now. Look at all of those fires and floods on both the bow and the rear of the ship. Oh no. No, no, no. Only just got this ruddy bloody ship out. It's hoping to do more with it than this, but okay. If they can take this out, I'd say that's a almost fair trade for them there. Oh, that is very nasty. That hasn't quite taken out our guns. But it'll take down the ship if these fires get out of control. Oh, well, wiping the sweat off my brow there. We did, of course, wipe out that enemy task force, but very, very unlucky to take those torpedoes to the Colorado. We did get on top of the damage there, but still heavy damage, of course, and moderate flooding. We're going to have to say goodbye to that already and send that home while we are under cover of night and not going to be taking any aircraft interception. So we're going to split off there and go straight back home. Oh, dearie me. But that is unfortunately all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed the video once again. It's been a tough one there. Well, it's been very, very, very nasty indeed. Please do leave your comments in the section below. I'm sure you've got a spicy word or two to say there, and I'm very much looking forward to reading them. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I shall see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.